Hey, what's going on, yo? So, in this video, I want to take the time and tell the story of the personal connection that I have with one of the most prominent shortstops in baseball during the 1970s. I believe I've told this story before, but it's been in the middle of other videos. Like, I think I described it in my what could have been 1966 Pirates video, and maybe some other times here and there. But I figured I'll go ahead and make it its own separate video. So in case people want to just hear it, they can come back to this video and hear it from there. Okay? So I'll start by telling you about my grandparents. I've got two sets, paternal and maternal. My mom's side, my biological grandfather, he's still around. Right now he's married to someone who he actually married after divorcing my biological grandmother, who is no longer with us. She died in October of 2009. But Nana, it's what I call the one who my grandpa married afterward. I've pretty well known her as my grandmother on that side for all my life, so it doesn't really make a difference that there's no blood relation. On my dad's side, so it's more clear cut. Both my grandparents are my dad's parents, you know. So, and they're both still around as well. They live in a suburb of Huntsville called Owens Crossroads or Big Cove. It's one of those, and their address says Owens Crossroads. So that's where they live. My grandparents on my mom's side, they live in just north of Tuscaloosa in a city called Northport. Okay, but for this video, the one that had the connection on my dad's side is my grandfather, and me and my sister, we call him Pop. So when I refer to Pop, that's who I'm referring to. Okay, so in the early and mid 1960s, my pop was in the Air Force, and he enrolled and he kind of worked his way up, and he got promoted to, I guess, a kind of general. He was the head of whatever group. I don't know all the military terms. I'm sure somebody watching this does. If you want to correct me, feel free, so that I can be more accurate. And so he was kind of the head of his group or platoon, or I'm not sure, again. But in his group, there was a man, and I've got on this sheet of paper. I don't even know if I should show it. I don't know if it's allowed or anything, but I know my grandfather's name, Robert J. Barrett, is up there at the top. Robert Johnson Barrett, and so he was up there, and down here, so Pop's up there, and then down here in the group, the third name from the top of that group, if you can see it, that's Patek, Frederick J. That's Frederick Joseph Patek, Freddie Patek, or Fred Patek. And that guy was a 5'5" shortstop, very athletic, was able to play. He enrolled in the Air Force and was able to play 140 games a season there, rather than 50 or so that he'd play at college. So he credits a lot of his success of being able to be drafted and recruited into professional baseball to playing for the Air Force team at Randolph Air Force Base's Greater Field in San Antonio. Because he was able to play more games at the Air Force than he would have been in college. Well, one day, Patek came to my pop, and said he needed a hardship discharge, that his father had become ill, and that they had a family business that needed to be run, and they needed the help, so he needed to go home. And my pop kind of looked at everything. He said okay, and my pop got it down real quick for him. Able to make it happen, and Patek went on his way. Not too long after that, the manager of the Air Force baseball team came storming into my pop's office, and I basically was asking, why did you discharge my star shortstop? My pop said, well, he said he needed a hardship discharge. His father was ill, needed to go take care of family business, and so I felt like it was appropriate. The manager said, he's not going to take care of the family business. He's just been drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates to go play professional baseball. And according to my pop, I think he thought about it for a second, and my pop said, well, he'll probably be making more money there than he will be here. And I believe that ended up being true. So, Patek started his professional baseball career in 1965 and worked his way up through the minor leagues. And in 1968, made his big league debut in Pittsburgh. He got his first hit off of Denny LeMaster of the Houston Astros, a bunt single. That wasn't his first game, but his first hit happened a few games later. In 1969 is when the Pirates, I believe their manager was Denny Murtaugh, went ahead and designated Patek as their starting shortstop over Gene Alley, who had kind of been tailing off just a little bit. So he got to play a lot that season in 69. Then 1970, the Pirates move into Three Rivers Stadium, and Patek gets his first taste of artificial turf, which he would become known for playing on. He would be traded to the Kansas City Royals in 1971, I believe. And that's where he would make his money, is with the Royals during the 70s. And then he finished up his career with 2 seasons in Anaheim with the Angels. Through his career, he was known as a great defensive shortstop. In fact, I believe it was Whitey Herzog who put Patek over Ozzie Smith for being the best shortstop on artificial turf. And he was also able to make contact with the ball and get on base. Again, 5'5", he was the shortest Major League Baseball player of his time. And once when he was asked what it was like, how he felt about being the shortest player in the major leagues, he said that he would rather be the shortest player in the major leagues than the tallest player in the minors. So, in large part because of my pop, Freddie Patek was able to go have the career that he did. He may have not been allowed to otherwise. I tried reaching out to him through mail over the past year or so a few times, but it wasn't till March of this year when I finally got a success. I decorated the envelope with the Pirates P and then the number 2 on the left and the right of the envelope. On the back, I drew the Air Force logo. And in my letter, I included my email address, my phone number. And March 18th, I have a video of a TTM return March 18th. And if you read the description, I say that shortly after I finished recording that video, while I was still on Sports Card Forum recording some of the stuff, I got a phone call from a random number. I figured, well, maybe it's an umpire or something that I've worked with or I'm going to work with. I answered, hello. Hey, is this Samuel Barrett? And I say, yeah, it is. Hey, this is Freddie Patek. And he said he got my letter and everything in there was true. And for 10 minutes, we talk about my pop and his experience in the Air Force, how everything played out. A little bit about baseball. We didn't talk too much because that wasn't really the point of the conversation. But it was very cool. And then it was a week or so later that me and my dad went up there and I told Pop about it. And he said, yeah, give me his phone number. So I gave it to him. And between that time I went to see them and a few months later in May, I believe, I went to go see him again up there to Huntsville to see them. Apparently he called him at one point. They talked. And I think Pate gave my pop his email address, and my pop sent him a newspaper article from 2015 about me in the local Phoenix City newspaper, the Citizen of East Alabama. And I don't know where it is. My copy is. It's somewhere. I don't know. I need to make a video about that. We can do that. Because that'd probably be interesting too. But send him that via email. So I'm still trying to reach back out to him at some point. I have that email address now. I'll probably send him an email in the next couple of days. So that was a very interesting story. My papa's told me that story a couple of times. So I remember the first time I heard it, and then one time I went up there and asked him to tell me the story again. And that's when he included that he told the Air Force manager that Patek probably make more money in baseball than he would at the Air Force. And so yeah, it was cool. So I think that's about it for that story. I remember I think it was the second time my pop told me the story. He printed or maybe had a copy of this and gave it to me. Again, I don't even know if I should be showing it on here. Maybe not. I don't know. It may be classified information. Who knows? But if it is, I can delete the video and make it again without showing this. No problem. So if it's an issue and somebody comes across and say, hey, that's not allowed, then let me know. I'll take it down. But that's very cool. And Patek did start his career in the late 60s and early 70s, so he got to experience the golden age of baseball in Pittsburgh with Forbes Field and the Corsair Pirates uniforms with the vest and the striped stirrup socks. And when he went to Kansas City, his first season there, they played at Municipal Stadium and had the Royals, nice, elegant wool uniforms as well. So we got to experience that as well, which I think is very cool. So, again, I think that's it. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I make an answer. There may be something I'm leaving out. And let me know what y'all think about it, about the story. I think it's really cool that there's that connection with a player that was considered a really good shortstop. So I'm glad that my pop told me that story, and I'm also glad that he and my grandmother, who we call B, I'm glad both B and Pop are still around. I believe they're doing fine. I called them a few days ago. I got to get back up there to see them. It's been a little while. But we will. So, again, I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoy telling people about it. I enjoy hearing my pop talk about it. My pop tells me just some stuff that happens or that happened, like the way things were just back in his times sometimes. And then my B sometimes will come in the room. She'll say, "Oh, Sam doesn't want to hear about all that." And in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, I kind of do, actually. So, again, hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see y'all next time. Thank you very much.